Antonio Olivero here with Jeremy Schneider, recapping last night's game of the year. IHA number 2, Northern Highlands number 1. Jeremy, take it from there. Give us the dish. What happened last night?
The hype is real, man. It lived up to the billing. It was Monday Night Football, if you will, and the better team won. Northern Highlands losing for the first time in 88 games, first time since 2010, I think. It was pretty mesmerizing. IHA had been great all year, and you had told me, you said don't count on IHA, and I picked Northern Highlands. I'm not terribly surprised, but it's a shocker. The level of play was just incredible. So much talent on the field at every level, and it was just incredible. It was great. I've covered really great games for the Ledger. Some really great basketball, some really good lacrosse, and some really good soccer. Last year's Bergen final was great too, but this was something else.
Yeah. Anytime a team loses for the first time in 88 games, loses for the first time in almost half a decade, I think that's something that takes a state kind of by storm, and everyone kind of takes notice of it. You mentioned a terrific first half there. Both teams playing extremely well. IHA really out of the gate, Hannah Kerner didn't start the game. They really kind of took it to Northern Highlands and kind of, imposed themselves and let Northern Highlands know this is how the game's going to go. I think that gets us to some of the differences from last year's game that ended up in a tie. What were some of the things you noticed?
Well, Kerner being out with a concussion to start the game certainly was a factor that it let IHA get the upper hand early. They were the aggressor. They were generating the chances, winning possession. And last year Kerner played. I'm pretty sure she played the whole game. Even though I think she was dealing with a separated shoulder at that point, and she still played because she's just real tough. But that she was missed. IHA got the chances there, and I think that was the biggest difference, really. Also, Rebecca Jarrett as a freshman. She scored the first goal off a great pass from Alex Mitropian, and I don't think that Northern Highlands really had an answer for her. She has blazing speed. I'd love to see her and Hannah Kerner in a foot race. That'd be something. But that was a big difference, and they weren't phased. I think there were times against in the final last year that IJ kind of had a deer in the headlights look. They recovered obviously to draw, but they took the moment, they seized the moment, and they were the better team.
Yeah, you mentioned Mesropian. With the game-winning goal coming back from the injury. Also, throughout the whole field for IHA, you go from the midfield, you mentioned playing so well, all the way back to Taylor Loopy. And before the season, Brandon Silva told me, verbatim, he said, this team, no one can, only a few teams can hold a candle to it with regards to talent and depth. What's going to be the question is collectiveness, cohesiveness, staying calm, and, he said, keeping everyone happy. From the team you saw yesterday in IHA, obviously knocking off Northern Highlands, what are your thoughts on what they've become as a unit?
Well, it's funny because Alex said this herself. As soon as Kerner scored, just a stunning goal right after Jarrett put IHA ahead. It was kind of a shock for them to you concede something so quickly. It's tied going into the half. Momentum seemingly headed towards Northern Highlands' way. But they stayed composed. They didn't. It didn't faze them. They didn't get shook, and they just kept going. The second half was definitely much more even. But and honestly, it's tied. There's 10 minutes left. I'm thinking Kerner's gonna break free. She's gonna score something. I thought the Highlanders would pull it out, but then. Just a beautiful move from Alex Mitropian to cut through a really good Northern Highlands defense, bury the shot, and then from that point on they held onto the ball in the final minutes. Northern Highlands never really threatened that much. They looked like they knew what they were doing, and they really combined talent with composure and coaching, and a good strategy to pull off the win of the year.
Of all the games I've seen this year, that Mitropian play was probably the best one-on-one play I've seen. How about you? You've seen a lot of games.
Yeah, it's up there. That's MSG Varsity has some real nice video of it. Yeah. You should check it out. She just cut. Went left, went right, bang, and it's to do that. She was ailing as well. She hurt herself in the semis, and there was a question if she was going to play in this one. She did not look hampered at all. She she looked. I saw her score a really nice goal against Wayne Hills earlier in the year, and she looked good in that game. She looked even better in this one. She was so motivated and made the most of her chances. She was the man of the match and a Player of the Year candidate now.
Mm-hmm. And moving forward for each of these teams, two different kind of worlds for them. Number one, you got Northern Highlands. 88's over. You got to start a new streak of whatever, and you got to try to win states yet again after this kind of a loss. We think they have the leadership to do that. IHA, they're number one now. They are they're not quite 88 game in a row, Northern Highlands, but they're Northern Highlands now. It seems like they maybe have stiffer tests coming up in the tournament coming up than Northern Highlands. But thoughts on each of these teams' roads to finish out the year?
I'd be pretty surprised if either of them lost. They both have tough tests, especially IHA with the non-public A group with you got Pingree and you got Bishop R. And I mean we'll see how that goes if Jill Vasallo is healthy for that matchup if they get there. Northern Highlands, I feel bad for anyone they play at this point. They are going to be angry. They're going to be motivated. They're going to want to prove a point. They're going to extract some revenge. They won't be able to get true revenge until the Bergen final next year. But it just would be pretty stunning if either of them lost. It's funny. Ramapo, I mean the semifinalists from Bergen, they're probably going to win Group 2. Bergen County might be the best county in the state at this point, and it's just magnificent the type of soccer that's being played. I mean, Coach Silva mentioned that IHA and Northern Highlands separated by 5 miles or so, and yet two of the best teams in the nation going at it.
Yeah, we got a great half. We got a great game. We got great performances from players. The game of the year lived up to the billing. So, as New Jersey soccer fans, I think we should be very happy with what we saw yesterday and what's on the horizon for the rest of the year. So, anyways, for Jeremy Schneider, Antonio Libero for New Jersey Advanced Media and NJ.com, signing off.
It's NJ Advanced Media, dog.
I'm not sure about that because
it's NJ Advanced Media.